Welcome to week 1 of DevCamp. This week we're getting started with HTML. This is video 1.2, where we learn what HTML is, what the basic structure of an HTML document looks like, and talk you through the main parts of a page. We'll then add headings, paragraphs, and lists. If you haven't already watched video 1.1 to get started, please do that now. So what is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Don't worry, you probably won't have to think about that acronym ever again, but it could score you some nerd points at trivia night. HTML is like the skeleton of our web page. It tells a browser, like Chrome or Firefox, that reads the HTML file, which things are headings, which are paragraphs, which are images, and so on. It's called a markup language because we mark up text. That means we label it. For instance, this text should probably be labeled so that the facts about penguins is a heading, and the sentence below it is a paragraph. This is why learning HTML first is so great. Basically, all we're doing is labeling stuff. It's important to remember that HTML just deals with content. Text, images, sounds. It doesn't make them look pretty. We use CSS to make things look nice. The amazing thing is that every web page you visit is just an HTML file on a remote computer. Once you know the basics of HTML, you get the power of X-ray vision. You can peel back the skin of a website to see how it was built. Try it right now. Pause this video, then open up any web page you want. Right-click anywhere on the page and a menu will pop up. In Chrome or Firefox, pick View Page Source. If for some reason you've decided to use Internet Explorer, you make me sad, but you would pick View Source. What you'll see is all the HTML that goes behind that web page that you picked. So come back and restart that video after you've tested out your X-ray vision. That was neat. Now we're going to get into Glitch and start working with our own HTML files. In the last video, we created a new project, which started with 4 files. So log into Glitch, open up that project and find the index.html file. Go ahead and pause now if you need to. So here is our index.html. As you can probably guess from the HTML on the end of the name, this is your HTML file. That .html part is called a file extension. So just like I would save a Word document as a .doc file or a picture with a .jpeg, I need to save an HTML file with the .html file extension. Your home page will always be saved as index.html. This is the first page a browser will look for when it heads to your website. So to understand what we're seeing here, we'll need to understand HTML syntax, or the rules of how you write HTML. So HTML is made up of elements. An element is a piece of content, some text, labeled with some tags. The tags you see here are the P's on either side of the sentence. In HTML, tags are indicated by the less than and greater than symbols. Sometimes you'll hear them called open and closed carets, with the element name in the middle. So tags are labels that we stick around pieces of content. Tags are used to tell your web browser how to format and display content. Like in our example here, most tags have 2 parts, an opening and a closing part. The closing part is shown with that // in front of the element name. You use the open and closing tags to surround a piece of content and label it. Clear as mud? That's okay. It'll make more sense once we start using it. Now let's look at the tags we were given when Glitch created our HTML page for us. There are at minimum 4 elements you need to have a working HTML page that can be read by a browser. As I point these out, try to find them in your index.html file. The first is the doc type. Doc type HTML is not really an HTML tag. It tells the web browser, hey, I'm about to give you an HTML page. Technically, it also tells the browser about the version of the HTML the page is written into. Next is the HTML tag. This tells the browser where the HTML starts and stops in your document, so it contains all the other elements except the doc type. And then inside the HTML tag, there's a head and a body. The head is where we keep all the information about the page, like a title, scripts, and styles. The things in the head element aren't usually seen on the web page. We'll come back to this later when we talk about CSS and JavaScript. The body contains all the good stuff, all the content, texts, hyperlinks, images, the stuff that someone actually sees when the web page is loaded into a browser. So you'll notice that your HTML document and all the other ones have stuff already in it. We need to get rid of some of that before we move on. Scroll to the bottom of your HTML document and find this part here. It starts with include the glitch button to show what the web page is about and ends with a script tag. Select the whole thing and delete it out. That'll keep us all on the same page as we move forward. Now, before we go any further and actually start writing our HTML, you need to decide what your website is going to be about. For these videos, you're going to be building a fan site, a site about something you're interested in or excited about. Like I mentioned in the first video, I'm going to be making mine about pangolins, but you should choose something you're into. Is it about some anime I don't know about because I'm an old man? Is it about food you love? Is it about a cause you care about, like racial justice or homelessness? Pick something you're excited about. It'll make it easier to stay interested in your project if you're also interested in your topic. So think for a little bit, and then head on over to video 1.3, where we'll write our first HTML tags and actually start making our website.